Hello everyone, welcome back to Angela's Craft Room. Today I just want to go through a few things with the Big Shot when you purchase your Big Shot. I've had a couple of ladies lately that have just bought their Big Shot for the first time, and it can be quite confusing with what we call a sandwich, what we put through the Big Shot. So I just want to go through. So just to start with, of course you're going to get your Big Shot, okay? Now the only thing you'll have to do when you take your Big Shot out, you will have to attach this handle. Now you'll get a small little, like an Allen key screwdriver, but just take your time doing it because you don't want to strip the screw. So it'll just, there's a little knob there, and that's just really a cover that goes on once you've attached the handle. So that's literally all you've got to do when you receive your Big Shot. So what do I get with my Big Shot? Obviously you get the Big Shot, okay? Then you will also receive the Big Shot platform. Zoom in a bit. So you'll get your Big Shot platform. Then you'll also get your thin die adapter, and you'll get two lovely brand new clear cutting plates. So that's what you get with your Big Shot, okay? Now, sandwiches. When I say a sandwich, when I say a sandwich, I mean when we're putting things through the Big Shot, we have to know what recipe our sandwich needs to be to put it through the Big Shot so it's going to emboss, or whether we want to die cut a thinlet, or whether we want to die cut a framelit, or if we want to do wet embossing. There's just so many techniques. So I'm just going to give you the brief ones in this tutorial. This will be part one. So if you wanted to, the sandwich for embossing, okay, so you would just take your main Big Shot platform, which just looks like that, and then I'm going to use two of my platforms instead of opening those brand new ones, so they're going to have cuts on them. And that's another thing, when you actually start cutting framelits and thinlits, your plates will mark like this, and that is completely normal. And another thing is, when you're putting it through, if you're putting through a framelit or a thinlet and you hear a cracking noise, that's completely normal because it's cutting the cardstock for you. So that's completely normal. You haven't done anything wrong. Okay, so getting back to the sandwich for the embossing folder. So we want the Big Shot platform. Then we want one clear plate on top. In this case, I'm using the new Holly embossing folder. So I would open that and make sure the Stampin Up logo is on the top. Then I would pop in my cardstock. I've just used a scrap piece just for the exercise, just to show you. And then you would pop your second clear plate on top, and then you would just feed that through your Big Shot, turning your handle, okay? And then when that is done, and you take off your embossing folder, open it up, and you've got a beautiful impressioned piece of cardstock, which we can do a lot with, but we'll just leave it at that for now because I'm just giving you the basics of what you can do with your big shot. Okay, so that's embossing. So we'll just move that out the way. So next is sandwich for your thinlits. Now I'm not going to go through what the difference between a framelit and a thinlit is, because I'm going to do that in the next tutorial. So your sandwich for your thinlits, and I've just got the heart thinlit, which comes from the Blooming Heart Thinlits. Code number is 140621 if you're in Australia. So in that you get, just opening it up, you get your big heart and you get two little flowers. So we just take out the heart. Okay. So to cut that heart, which is a thinlit, what we would use is our big shot platform, and then our thin die adapter, which you got with your big shot. Pop that one on top. Then you would need a precision plate, and I'll go through this afterwards, but your precision plate, then you would put your cardstock on top of that, and then we would put the thinlit face down, and then just one of your clear plate on top, and then you would just feed that through your big shot. And then what you do with that then is you get your foam pad out with your die brush, and if I had cut that, all you have to do then, I can show you this in the next tutorial, is you're going to just, and what this does is it just pops the thinlit out, so that when you lifted that you would have a lovely die cut heart, which I cut prior to the tutorial, but I'll show you that in the next tutorial. This is just basically to show you, to get you started on using your big shot. Okay, so while we're talking about that, I told you at the beginning what you got with your big shot. So your precision base plate is a separate piece of equipment that you can purchase to use with your big shot. Now you will need this if you are doing intricate thinlits. You won't need it if you're just embossing or if you're cutting framelits, but Stampin' Up do recommend, well, they do say you would definitely need that precision plate if you're cutting 5 of their thinlits. One is the Flourish thinlits, then the Blooming Heart thinlit, which I just showed you. Probably should just try and come in a bit for you there. The other one is the Swirly Scribbles thinlits, the Birds and Bloom thinlits, and the Detailed Floral thinlits. They're all on page 194, and they are the last 4 in the row at the bottom of the page, and this one here. Those 5 you definitely would need the precision plate. Okay, just so you know. So, running out of room, so we'll just remove that. So that's the sandwich that I've gone through and showed you how you use, what you would need to use for your thinlits. Now a tip is, another thing that you can purchase additionally is the magnetic platform. I'm sorry I'm going in and out, but I'm just trying to give you the best look. So another one is the magnetic platform. Now if you're using also a warning, I must tell you the warning is if you have a pacemaker, you cannot use the magnetic platform because of the magnetics in the magnetic platform. So if you have a pacemaker, or if you're doing classes, you must always ask the ladies and gents if any of them have a pacemaker, because you must not use the magnetic platform if you have a pacemaker. Okay, so that's my little warning for today. But the thing with the magnetic platform, what makes it so easy is of the magnets, because the thinlits and the framelits are magnetic. And so before we had the magnetic platform, what ladies used to have to do, for those that are new that have just purchased their Big Shot, they used to have to put their framelit or thinlit on there and either use a little bit of sticky tape or a little bit of washi tape and just stick it in place. When they had it face down, stick it in place so it wouldn't move. So where the magnetic platform is good, and I must tell you that you must never cut on your magnetic platform there. You must have something on top of it. So for instance, you would have the clear plate. Okay, then you would have a piece of cardstock and you would be putting, in this case, the thinlit. Now where it's good is, you can see, because it's magnetic, that thinlit or framelit is not going to move for the life of me. It is just fantastic. But you know, you don't have to have the magnetic platform. It's just an additional extra, but I'm telling you, it is the best purchase that you could ever make, because it just makes life so much easier. You know, no sticking, there's no way that that's going to move. So that's why people do purchase the magnetic platform, just so you know. Okay. Now, if you're going to use the magnetic platform, that's the magnetic platform there. We'll bring in the normal Big Shot platform that you've already purchased. And you can't see, but just the height of the Big Shot platform and the magnetic platform. The magnetic platform is just it's less than an 1/8 of an inch. So, but if I put the thin die adapter onto the Big Shot platform that you would have got with your Big Shot, if I put that on there, that is exactly the same height as the magnetic platform. So if you were using the magnetic platform, you would use that instead of these two. The normal platform that you got with your Big Shot and the thin die adapter. If you're using the magnetic platform, you don't use either of those. Okay, so that's just a little tip for you. And then the other additional thing that, especially for the thinlits, is your die brush and your foam pad. You will need that if you are cutting out thinlits. So that's that one. So then the last thing I was just going to tell you in this tutorial is framelits. The sandwich you need for your framelits. Now your framelits, I've got this one, lots of labels. Order number for that one is 138281 if you're in Australia. So that's your framelits. And the ideal of framelits is you can do layering. So you could do, like, if you pick two sizes, a large size and a smaller size, you could do this in one color and this in another, and then you can layer them on top of each other. And a good one is if you're using dimensionals on your top layer, and it just makes it pop off of the card. And I did show my ladies that in the last craft lesson, so they will know what I'm talking about. So that is the framelits. But the sandwich for your framelit is you use your normal Big Shot platform that you got with your Big Shot, and then you put your thin die adapter on, which you got with your Big Shot. Then you put one clear plate, your piece of cardstock, your framelit, face it down, and then your other clear plate on top of that, and then you would just put that through your Big Shot and it will cut that one out for you. And it will cut very easily. It will come out like that. Okay, so that's just the basics that I wanted to put into this tutorial, just to help those that have only just purchased their Big Shot. And I just hope that helps you a little bit in understanding how you need to use different types of sandwiches to feed through your Big Shot, whether you're embossing or whether you're cutting a framelit or whether you're cutting a thinlet, whether you're using a magnetic platform or whether you're not. So I hope that is helpful for you, and I do look forward to coming back and explaining to you the difference between a thinlet and a framelit, and I will also show you some wet embossing. So till next time, thank you for sharing some of your day with me today, and I really look forward to seeing you next time.